So this is going to be a deck profile of Plunder Patrol and just how to build the core. So you're going to run 3 of all the main deck Plunder Patrol monsters as your full engine to get started to whatever you need to access. You're going to have your extenders in Bluebeard to be able to just get an extra body on the board whenever you need to. Your normal summon is going to usually be Golden Hair or Whitebeard, and Redbeard and Whitebeard both have the same effect where you can use them to tag out during your opponent's turn into one of your ships and equip them to it. Whitebeard is also used as a great extender off of Golden Hair or just whenever you need to discard, also off of Bluebeard. We have the 3 simple extenders, Silent Angler. It's not the best, not the worst. It's pretty good at just being able to get another body on the board that's a level 4, so you can go into Bahamut Shark or into one of your level 8 Synchros or just into Blackbeard. Then we have 1 copy of Ghost Ogre. I'm just running the 1 right now because I want to be able to have access to the Halki Fibrax play. Might play more, might play 0 and cut it. Just depends on what I'm going to be facing for my meta and the cards that I have available. I like Ghost Ogre when it's useful, but I think that I'd rather run something like Phantasme for now. 4 copies of your field spell, one of the best field spells in the game by far. Easy Rhoda, easy discard to get anything live, and terraforming just as the extra one. Then we have 2 copies of Ship Shape Ship Shipping and 2 copies of Emblem of the Plunder Patrol. I like running 2 and 2. Some people like running 3 Emblem and 2 Ship Shape Shipping. Some people like doing 3 Ship Shape Shipping and 2 Emblem. It's personal preference. I think 2-2 ratios are fine, especially as you'll see that I run Desires as well. So I can generally at least always have access to one of these if I need to. It's not the most common that I'm going to be hard making lists, so Ship Shape Ship Shipping is just a really good discard target to be able to access Emblem or another name in my graveyard if I need to be able to get Golden Hair in there. Then 3 copies of Pot of Desires, very simple, draw 2 cards, very nice. And it doesn't really matter that you banish things because you run at least 2 copies of everything that matters in this deck. And it's rare that you end up banishing all your names, but it does happen unfortunately. And finally, we have 2 copies of Plunder Patrol Booty, one of the best trap cards for the deck. It lets you change attributes that your opponent has and revive from the graveyard. You can use it to revive Redbeard, Whitebeard, one of your ships, and then just be able to play on from there. Great card. I absolutely love it. I just wish it were a bit faster, and I hate the once per turn during the end phase clause. If you don't control any Plunder Patrol monsters, you gotta send this to the graveyard. So this is the extra deck. I run 3 copies of Blackbeard. You absolutely need 3 copies of him. He's easily the best play starter, maker, and extender of your deck, simply because he can quick effect target any of your effect monsters, special summon a ship and equip that target, then draw 1 card. Great way to get around dodging effects to get a ship out and you draw a card. Then we have Salamangreat Almirage, which is an absolutely necessary link 1. Normally you're going to be normal summoning Golden Hair and then linking off into Almirage right away, and then you're going to be discarding for Golden Hair in the graveyard to make Blackbeard. So Almirage is a necessary extender in order to get to that point, as well as just being a nice way to get a fire body on the field if you want to cheat out Bran by using an emblem or something. Then we have 3 copies of Liss in this build. If you're not running the Halki Fibrax path, sometimes you run 2. It's up to you. Liss is also easily one of the best cards in the deck. It is a monster negate. Don't even need to have an equip to it. If you have something equipped to it, then you end up getting a search for any Plunder Patrol card in your deck, which is just amazing to fill up whatever gaps you have in your hand. And it also has the main phase effect, quick effect, that you can special summon 1 Plunder Patrol from your hand or your spell and trap zone. So if you end up equipping a list with Emblem as well as a Redbeard along the way to making it, then you have access to a quick effect, refilling negate, as well as Redbeard to make another ship. Then we have 2 copies of Merrick. Sometimes I run 3. It again depends on what I expect to be facing. Easily one of the best cards in the deck. It banishes to get anything off the field and then searches you access to a field spell or to your fusion and equip, or even booty if you're able to on your first turn and just get set up for amazing grind plays. Definitely recommend getting at least 2 of these and having a third one as backup in case the format calls for it. Then we have 2 copies of Bran. He's the weakest of all the Plunder Patrol ships, 2500, and just being a quick effect, or while equipped with a Plunder Patrol, a quick effect spell and trap banish. He searches monsters, which is very important for being able to extend, because if he searches excuse me, if he searches Whitebeard, then you can use Whitebeard as discard fodder off of another ship and then just keep extending continuously and getting advantage off of that. I like that about him. I just feel like at 2500 it makes it a bit tough because he doesn't get his own 500 attack boost and he only reaches 3000 if he's equipped with something and the field spell is out on the field. So it's just irritating for trying to handle Dragoon in archetype. And now, leaving the archetype, we have the Halki-Fibrax engine, which consists of 2 level 8 Synchros, Crystron Quandax, and Crystron Halki-Fibrax. I've gone over the combos for Halki-Fibrax. It's just 200 plus extender, and then you can get into whatever you need to as long as you have a Redbeard or just any level 4 in the field. So that way you can make Quandax and then go into Dragite or White Aura Whale. Dragite is great for being a free spell and trap negate and being a 3000 beater. And White Aura Whale is great for just destroying the big boards with a bunch of attack position monsters that have no protection. You summon it, boom, board wipe. You have to be aware though that it will miss timing if you make it off of Quandax's Chainlink 2 because it's a when effect. So if you want the White Aura Whale effect to go off, you have to use Quandax's Chainlink 1. So that might mess around with how you're going to do your Whitebeard or Redbeard Chainlinks also. Because if you do Quandax 1 and Redbeard or Whitebeard 2, then you won't have that level 4 to go into your level 8 Synchro. So now to talk about the potential side deck cards and hand trap targets that you might want to be running for the deck. Ash Blossom at 3 is a given that you're going to be wanting to run. Drill and Lockbird is a bit difficult because it interferes with your own monster effects, and Lancy is a bit iffy, but these are the other options that you can look at. Pankratops, it's a one-of, it's still easily an amazing card that is, if it's a free summon, if you're going second, it can target pop anything you need to, quick effect. If you feel like it'll come up for you, you should definitely consider it in the side. Kaijus are great spot removal. This deck really struggles at things that are big bodies that have protection from targeting or from banishing. I'm looking at you, Dragoon. It's hard to deal with it easily. Kaijus are quick and easy out, so that way you don't have to worry about it, as well as dealing with things like Buster Lock in the Dragon Link builds. Phantasme, I think, is really nice because, speaking about Dragon Link, it can easily turn into a draw 4 and then shuffle to figure out what you like. Links are coming a bit back more into the format right now with pretty much everything, but I think Zoo running Links and Virtual World, if that keeps getting popular again, definitely worth considering, so that way you can just cycle through your breaks and get what you need into your hand and out of your hand. Lancia, as I said earlier, it conflicts with 2 of your ships, Merrick and Bran, for their banishing, but it's such a good card against so much of the meta right now. It stops dragons, stops dinosaurs, stops bird up, it stops in Virtual World even if you end up facing them, stops Invoked. It's just a very good thing to consider. I main it in some of my decks just because of how good of a card it is at just ending so many turns. Ghost Ogre, I run 1 if I'm going to be running the Halki-Fibrax package. You can run more if you want to. It's okay. There are usually better options, and if you're going for Ghost Ogre, you're digging really deep into your bag of tricks. Ghost Spell, last format, it was a bit better. This format, it's really for the Dear Servant and Pisty, I guess. Like, it's not the best card in the format. When it comes up, it definitely does come up, but it's not as generic as you'd like. In the side deck, if you're going to be facing a lot of decks that you expect to be doing anything that Ghost Spell can hit, definitely not in the main. Effect Failure, You can definitely run Effect Veiler. There's actually a combo that uses a light hand trap, and if you prefer Effect Veiler over Ghost Ogre, then you can definitely go for it. I like going for Ghost Ogre for the Halki Fibrax combo just because I'm actually able to use it as a target as more than just an attribute. If you want to be able to flex your Effect Veilers, then you can go for it. Nibiru, we do have a way to play around Nibiru even on our own turn, as I showed earlier in one of the combos where you can just do Nibiru's Chainlink 2 and you can have one of your tag out effects as Chainlink 1, so you'll wipe the whole board and then you'll be able to make a list with either a Redbeard, Whitebeard, or Blackbeard, but you won't be able to get the draw off of Blackbeard because it'll be attributed for Nibiru. It's a very nice interaction to have in mind for when you come up against the combo boards that just lose to a Nibiru and nothing else. Gamma, one of the best hand traps in the format as usual so far it seems. It's negating a monster effect and destroying it to take it off the field. You can definitely run it. I kind of keep it in my deck, take it out. Can't really decide if I want it in there or not because of the hand traps that I feel I need for the meta that I'm going to be facing. If you feel like you can add it, definitely go for it. It's a free level 8 if you can resolve it on your turn, and it's still an amazing hand trap to be able to use. Dimension Shifter, you want to be able to use your graveyard a lot with this deck, and I don't recommend it. Maybe you can figure out a way to use it, but it is not a good idea in my opinion to use Dimension Shifter with Plunder Patrol. Moving on to the spells, Mystic Mine. If you're coming up against a big combo board and all you need to do is access White Aura Whale to turn it off, Mystic Mine is a great way to be able to do so. You just slap it down, and if they can't respond, 2 level 4s and you have board destruction, you can play from there. You play your own field spell, you have 4 copies of it, so it's very easy to access. Dark Ruler No More. I main this in my going second builds, and when I feel like I'm going to be facing a lot of Dragoon or a lot of just very heavy combo boards that I don't think I'd be able to play through. And it's a great way to just turn off those boards, give yourself that turn to do whatever you need to, and then just establish a presence that will not allow your opponent to play through it, or just be able to get your grind set up. If you feel like you're facing a very meta-heavy tournament or format wherever you're playing, definitely consider maining it. Called by the Grave. Some people run it out 1 in the main, some people keep it in the side. It's kind of sacky at 1, unfortunately, because you don't get to see it as much as you'd like to, because as you know, if you're playing this deck, it loses to Ash very often, so you can definitely consider keeping it in the main, or you can just try and play through Ash based off your hands and extenders, or by your trap lineup with your hand traps. And then back removal, you have Feather Duster and 3 copies of Cosmic if you are going to be running it. You have an in-engine way to deal with back row removals, to deal with removing back row, so it's not too big of an issue. If you're facing some decks that are really heavy on back row, like Trap Tricks or Alter Guys, definitely consider running it. And then traps that you can generally run, Warning Point and Torrential Tribute. Both of these activate when a monster is summoned. I like using Warning Point as a budget way to just deal with annoying things in Zoo, in Virtual World, in Dragon Link even. It works for everything, where it just turns off that monster's effects. They can't be used as material for summon for anything that turn, and they can't attack either. It's great to watch a Zoo player just struggle to be like, now what do? I can't make an Xyz. And then there's Torrential Tribute, which again, you also have a way to play around it. When a monster is summoned and you have a tag out effect, you can do the tag out Chainlink 1, Torrential Tribute Chainlink 2, or Chainlink 3 technically because of the summon, if they have an effect. So you would be able to wipe the whole field, summon a ship, and then if you used Redbeard specifically, you would be able to equip that ship right away, or if you used Whitebeard, you'd be able to make Redbeard, and then you'd have access to another ship. So this deck profile that I showed you included 29 cards in the main deck, 15 cards in the extra deck, and an empty side. With this build, you have about 11 spots for hand traps or for other tech choices that you want. You can cut the 3 copies of Silent Angler if you want to bump it up to 14 if you want to play 14 hand traps. You can cut Ghost Ogre 2 if you want to run something else and you don't want to run the Halki Fibrax package. It's fine to just have a normal combo of Golden Hair plus a Silent Angler and a discard to be able to turn that into a Bahamut Shark, totally awesome. Or into, you summon these two, overlay into Bahamut Shark, you detach Golden Hair for totally to summon Totally Awesome. And then Golden Hair in the graveyard, you're going to discard whatever is in your hand, and then you can summon it. And together with the Bahamut Shark, you can make one copy of Blackbeard, which is just a great way to end up on an Omni Negate and to have access to Blackbeard with 3 cards and whatever remains in your hand. This concludes the deck profile. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section and I'll try and get to them.